Recently, I figured out how to create custom doors which can be any shape or style you want and will not only function just as well as a normal door, but may also be saved and loaded without any parts breaking. I have two custom doors here, one which is very simple, only one part. As you can see, it opens, has some serrations on the bottom. You can put some serrations in the floor as well to make it look nice. It closes just fine. And the other, which not only has the door, but textured windows which move with the door. As you can see, it opens just fine, has some serrations on the bottom as well that you can put in the floor, and it will close just fine as well. So, in this video, I will not only show you how to create, save, and load these custom doors, but how to create the door designs yourself without any extensive knowledge on modeling. I created both of these just using Roblox Studio. I didn't even need to touch Blender. So to start, I will first demonstrate how to ensure your doors save and load properly without falling apart or just ending up completely unable to open. Many doors inside of SCP or P are dependent on a specific part of the door to open. You can't just delete everything and keep the doors and assume that all of them will work just fine. First, you will want to run the load doors command, so it's either :load doors, or instead, you can press the key right next to enter. For me, it's the quotation marks. And you can type in load doors without the colon, and it should work just fine. So now, out of this set of doors, you'll want to select this door right here. This is the big blast gate that opens sideways. You can see if I open it, it will open sideways each way. This is one of the doors out of this set that will work completely fine if you only use the bare minimum. So you can get rid of all these details, you can get rid of the frame, and it will work just fine, which is why I prefer using this door. This door also has two moving parts, so if you want to do something as the window door, you will need to use this door. So now that I've explained how to avoid your doors breaking when opening, or to just outright be unable to open, I will now show you how to change a normal door into a custom one using the split open blast gate, which is this one. If you skip the first part and don't know which door that is, it's the door with the two keypads which are very wide, and you can even open it to see if it's the right one. Just make sure you don't move it when the door is opening or closing. Now, what we want to do is we want to remove everything on the door but the keypads. I will change my increment to 0.1 for this demonstration. Usually I use 0.05, but I don't need that small of an increment. So I will move this keypad back just so it's out of the way. And now I will shift click this door. I will unselect the two main parts, and I'll unselect the frame, and I'll get rid of all the details. So you can see if I move the frame here, it's just these two door parts, and they will work completely fine. Just make sure not to move these door parts while they're opening, and they might get stuck. After you've removed all the extra parts, you will now have to figure out which door you will need to use for the main part. So in this case, there's two doors here. Each of these doors opens a different way. To figure out which piece you will need, I've included in two mesh IDs in the description below. I'll pull them up really quickly here on my notepad. You won't be able to see it, but for this example, I would be doing the window door. So I copy the mesh ID in the description below. You can either press H, or you can click on the globe here. Select Add Mesh, select File, and paste in your mesh ID right there. So as we can see, this is not the correct door, because if I open it, it will be opening the wrong way. We want that serrated end to be moving outwards. So you will select this door. This is the correct door to use. File, put in the ID, and now if we open the door will open properly. Now, of course, we don't want the door opening sideways, so what we'll do here is we'll take this door, we will rotate it like this, and just so it's easier for us, I'll just move these two parts over. So now, make sure you select this door. The mesh will probably be bigger than the door itself. Now what we want to do, now that we've rotated it, is resize it so it fits with the size of the door. Before we do that, you make it as wide as you want. Make sure it's as thick as the door, but do not make it as tall as the door yet. If you're using one of the doors I've provided below, it will have a serrated edge on the bottom that you do not want the door to be on. Because of that, you will go press H or the globe again. We'll go in the last box of the offset, and you'll type in negative 0.5. And as you can see, it moved down a bit. And if I move this up, so it's pretty much matching there, you can see that it does not include the serrations here are outside of the box, which is exactly what we want. So now that we have that, we can move the door back down, and we can, if you want to, you can shade it down, or you can even put a texture on it. Doesn't matter, it's up to you. So now that we have that part of the door, if you're doing the one-piece door, this is just about all you need to do. All you need to do is put the frame back, resize it, make sure the frame is wider than the door by at least 2 increments. So like this. And make sure it's as wide as the door, like this. If you have the one-piece door, this is all you need to do. You can get rid of this door and you're already good to go. It should open and close just fine, and you can save and load it, and it should work as well. However, if you're doing the two-piece door, then you will need to follow these instructions as well. You will take this door piece, you will rotate it so it will open upwards. So if I rotate it like this, and I hit the keypad over here, you will see it goes up, which is exactly what we want. We'll wait for it to go down. Let me move this frame out of the way. Move it. You're going to want to hold R, drag, click until it's aligned with the middle. So use the align tool, hold R right here, drag, click it over here. Whoops. Don't do what I just did there. Drag, click it over there, and then let go. Now you're going to resize it so it matches the size of the door. Make sure it is not as wide as the door, though. You do want it as wide as the door. You want it as tall as the door, but you do not want it as thick as the door, like this. I like to make it one wider like this. However, you will need to move it one up so you don't see it colliding with the bottom of the door. Now that you have it like this, you either press N or click the gear. Set the transparency to 0.7. You can go higher or lower depending on how transparent you want it. 1 means completely transparent, 0 is completely opaque. And that is pretty much your window. Now if you want to put a texture on the window like I do for this door over here, you can see I have square texture here, which could look nice. All you need to do is click on you can use one of the edges here. Click on the edge that you want to change. Make sure you press G first. Click on the edge you want to change, select texture, add texture. I have a Decal ID in the description, which I will use here, and put it in, set the repeat to 0.3 and 0.3, and there you go, you have it for one side. And if you want to do it for the other side, you simply you see how it's on the right, change it to left, do the same exact thing, put in the Decal ID, 0.3, 0.3, and there's your window. Now, just to make sure, we will move it back into the frame, make sure it fits nicely. It's okay if you have a bit of the window poking out. You'll probably have some kind of wall there, like I do over there. You hit this, and you'll see the door will open with the frame. Now that I've shown you how to create a custom door, and even two-piece custom door with windows, I will now show you how to make your own door design using Roblox Studio. So let me change over to my Studio tab here, and you can create a new place. Open up Roblox Studio, create a new place. I like to use Baseplate, but for my example, I'm going to be doing my own place. If you don't know how to create your own place for some reason, you can look that up, or if you don't have Roblox Studio, you can also look that up, or to download it. You can find it right on Roblox. So, as you can see here, I have the two window meshes here, and you can see how they're rotated sideways. They're not facing this way. and that is because you want to align the doors with the side opening door, so when you put the mesh in, it's not rotated the wrong angle. If you want to create a double side opening door, like a door that opens from two sides that's custom, you can simply copy this, align it with itself, and rotate it. And there you go, you have another door facing the opposite way for the other door. Now, if you want to use this F3X plugin I have here, I have the plugin linked down in the description. And once you download it, you just go up here to this plugins tab and select Building Tools by F3X. So now that I've shown you this alignment, and if you want to use F3X or Studio, I will show you a very basic way of making a new door. So create a new part, change your increment. I like to use 0.05. You can use whatever increment you want. And watch this size down here. This is a very important thing to look for because it will tell you how big your door is and how big it will be when you put it into SCP. So I have a rig here to tell me like how big my character is compared to the door. I like to use this for making sure that it's not an overly big door or an overly small door. So typically when I make a door, I like to make a base of 0.3, and then I can make it as tall as I want. So let's say, for example, if we look at this door here and we select the middle part, it is 11 by 19, which is what we'll do. We'll take it 11 by 19. So we'll create it right way up first and then we'll rotate it afterwards. So 11 by 19. Now that you have it the size of your door here, you can add whatever details you want. I recommend adding details on one side and then copying that side and putting it on the other. A couple things to note as well, that if you want to create like the smooth looking windows here, you will have to use a negate tool, which is up here. And to do that, you will take normal block, whatever you want, and you will make the shape of the window and the size of the window that you want. So if I want to make a circular window like I did on the other one, I will do this and I will make this kind of circular block shape here. So I just move this here, and now you select all of these, select negate, and move it onto your block however you want. So like if I want to create a window there, and I want to create a window like over here like I did on that one. Of course that one has bigger windows. You select all of these, select the piece that you want to cut it out of, and then select union. See, now you have these holes cut out. Now if I want to turn this into a mesh and export it to SCP, first, again, you want to rotate it so it's aligned. I already have doors here. If you want to know which way it should be facing, the top of the door should be facing the front or the back, doesn't matter. And once you have it faced like this, you're going to right click this. I like to group it as a model. Make sure you have the model selected in this Explore tab here. Right click it, select Export Selection. You can name it whatever you want. I'll just name it door test. Make sure you know where that file is because you will need to find it. Now you're going to right click anywhere empty. So like I can just right click right here on the ground. Select Insert Object. Select Mesh Part. And click on the mesh part so you have it selected here. So you can see I have it selected here. I have another mesh part over there, but I will be selecting this one. Now once you have the mesh part selected, you will want to collect mesh ID. There will be a little folder here. Select that. You can see all these. You're going to want to go through and find wherever you want to add. So like let's say I do door test. I'll select that one, open. This will ask you if you want it to go to the location data that it has. I recommend pressing no, but it doesn't matter too much if you press yes. And once that happens, you will have your mesh here, and it will be basically a replica of this one. It might be rotated, that's fine, but once you have this, make sure you select the mesh that you just made, and you will see this ID right here. Copy that, and if we switch back to the game, I can select this door here, go to the mesh, and I can put in the mesh ID. And since this doesn't have any riffles on the bottom, you can just press 0 and look, you have your completely custom door right there. It opens and closes just fine, and it should save and load just fine as well.